Hey everybody, it's Fox with FoxeoGames, and this is a Fox first scent of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I'll be playing this on the Wii U for two reasons. Number one, I already had a Wii U, and number two, I couldn't find a Nintendo Switch anywhere. So, well, that's that. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is the latest in the series, and it really breaks with a lot of the series' norms in many different ways. Not the least of which is the biggest deal that everyone's talking about, the fact that it is essentially an open world game. It doesn't have the same structure as the other games, so you could say it's a breath of fresh air. I'm sorry, terrible pun. I haven't heard anyone say that. I'm sure someone has, but I'm the first to hear it. Well, at least to hear myself say it. In Breath of the Wild, you start out on the Great Plateau, which is not what you're looking at right now, and it essentially is like a tutorial area, except even that area is essentially open. Once you complete a few objectives there, you get an item that allows you to escape the Great Plateau. You're looking at it. That's a very minor spoiler, guys. And then you can explore the entire world at large, and it is essentially huge. There's quite a bit to do in it. There's quite a lot to discover. Not all of it's going to be interesting to everybody. There are a lot of things that you can collect, little secrets to find. But I do have a lot of complaints about the game, so let me knock out a few of those. Biggest complaint by far, bar none, same complaint everyone else has. Everything in this game breaks, and it breaks way too easily. Well, your armor doesn't, but your shields and your weapons break like crazy. I mean, some of them I'll pick them up. I'll fight 2, 3, maybe 4 enemies, and it's broken. It shatters into pieces. And as far as I can tell, there really aren't any permanent weapons in the game that don't break or wear down and require that you wait or do something to restore them. So you'll be spending a lot of time just picking up weapons and using weapons that you don't really like because you blew up the last weapon you had by attacking an enemy several times. I mean, some of these weapons, I swear, you only have like 10 strikes on an enemy before it shatters. Really don't like that. Same thing with the shields. They shatter rather quickly. The game takes a very different structure. It's not all about going from one dungeon to the next dungeon using the, overworld as essentially a mission select. In this case, it is really pretty much open world. You can go almost anywhere from the very start, well, once you clear the plateau area. And you go to these shrines, and the shrines, all the ones I've experienced, are very, very short. I mean, some of these shrines I've completed from start to finish in under 5 minutes. Very few have taken me more than around maybe 15 minutes at the most. And if I do get stuck in these, I do tend to basically look up what to do, because I'm not a big fan of puzzles. I enjoy a lot about Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, but if I get stuck on a puzzle, I'm just going to get frustrated and lose interest, so I do look up the solutions. Some people would consider that kind of cheating, but whatever. It's my experience, so I can do that if I want to. But essentially, once you get out of the Great Plateau, you'll have a few little special abilities, like the ability to create ice, to lift metallic objects, and things like that. And you use these to solve the puzzles through these shrines. The shrines give you items, and you can trade those items for more stamina, more health. And as you progress through the game, you'll essentially be visiting a ton of these things. I'm not quite sure how many there are, but as far as I can tell, there are at least dozens and dozens of them. So probably somewhere around 100 is my wild guess, and you guys will tell me whether I'm right or wrong. I've made it, I would say, about, maybe 15 hours into the game. I've explored a lot of different areas. I've gone to areas I don't think I was supposed to, because I was getting my butt kicked repeatedly by enemies and had to try my best to sneak around. And speaking of getting your butt kicked in this game, it is by far, without question, the most difficult Zelda game I've played in a long time. It is, in fact, the most difficult first-party Nintendo title I can recall playing in recent memory. I mean, I'm talking since probably the Nintendo 64 days. Now, I'm sure there have been more complicated, more difficult, more challenging Nintendo games, first-party Nintendo games, not some of their, second-party like Monolith Soft and all them. But in this case, I've died a ton in this game. There are enemies that'll kill me in one shot. There are enemies that will just surround you and attack you relentlessly. A lot of them will follow you for quite a distance. There are basically snipers in this game that hit you with deadly accuracy with their bows and arrows. And in that regard, I kind of like it, but at the same time, I don't appreciate walking around a corner, seeing a big enemy, getting ready for the fight, bam, he hits me dead instantly. Again, maybe I'm not meant to be there, so it's kind of an important lesson in that regard. Maybe I'm supposed to go somewhere else first. But that is one of the challenges of an open world game, is how to structure difficulty and level progression and whatnot. Not that you level up in the game, you don't. But you certainly can get more hearts, get more stamina, use your stamina to climb. That is the biggest thing in this game that didn't exist in any of the other Zeldas that I can recall, is the ability to climb almost any structure using your stamina gauge to determine how far you can go. I'll have a lot more to say about it when I do my full review of the game coming in the future. I'm Fox with FoxeoGames, and I will see you guys next time.